McDonogh 35, and nearly 70 years later, these New Orleans pioneers still stick together. Their amazing story ahead in Senior 8. There's been a most unusual class reunion right here in New Orleans. The classmates are all women, all African-American, one of the first groups of school teachers to be trained at a time in this century when African-American children were first being guaranteed a full public school education. In today's Senior Focus, Alec Gifford introduces us to these New Orleans pioneers.
Selena Butler Tinson is president of this dwindling band of school teachers who have had a class reunion every year for the past 68 years.
Dear Lord, we know we cannot make it on our own, so take our hands and hold them tight, for we cannot walk alone.
They were all graduates of McDonogh 35 High on North Rampart in Girard, destroyed by Hurricane Betsy in 1965. They were handpicked for 2 more years of teacher training of elementary students. Of the 26 pictured in the 1928 yearbook, only 12 are still alive, most of them the grandchildren of slaves. Annette Minor Leonard remembers that conditions in the black schools of those years were hardly ideal. How many kids did you have in your class?
Oh, my goodness, about 75.
Years later, when teacher standards were raised, many of them went on to obtain bachelor's and master's degrees, teaching well into the era after the desegregation of the 1960s. Every year, there are fewer and fewer of them for their class reunions.
This is a miracle, because just think all those years we have been struggling, and yet we are very proud to be here today.
Everything was so lovely. My teaching experience was one that I will always cherish and remember.
Despite all of the hardships, I consider those years and those times the best years of my life.
Drinking champagne would have been unheard of in those lean years when they mostly walked to school to save their 7 cents of streetcar fare for use only when it rained. Finally, it was time to say goodbye with a closing prayer.
May the Lord watch between me and thee while we are absent one from another.
For Senior Focus, this is Alec Gifford.
And that is a beautiful story. The youngest of the group is 85, the oldest is 88, and they're hanging together.
That's a great story.
No kidding.
Well.